Monkeyboy's YouTube channel is intersubjectively and stands independently the best YouTube channel, and eventually he will have a big boy PP.
I knew you would add that in there.
I mean it from the heart.
He didn't mean it from the heart. That's clipped. Everyone in the comments is gonna clown you.
And I mean that.
It's too late. It's too late. I'm cutting that part out. Hey, what's going on, Rich? You got evidence that exists or what?
Yes, I do. I watch you and you're a smart guy, but I think what your issue is that you have too high of a standard for evidence. You have too high of a standard for evidence. You know, there's proof that God exists, and then when someone will bring it to you, you don't accept the evidence, and it's kind of heartbreaking, to be honest. It's heartbreaking. It's disingenuous, and it's unrealistically high standard of evidence.
There's a couple of stuff you're saying. You're saying I'm being disingenuous, which I don't know how you would say that, but also you're saying that my kind of the type of bar for evidence is too high, which is just not true. Most of these lives are people who are mistaken. 99% of people who come on these live don't offer any evidence, right? That's what's going on. It's not that I'm not accepting evidence. It's that they say certain stuff is evidence and they don't make an inference to God. Most of these people are mistaken and think that they could just name stuff and say that that's evidence and that's good reasons to believe in theism. So it's not that they're just saying stuff and I'm hand waving it or anything like that. They're just really not offering anything, right?
Right, and I understand that. And you said 9%, but what about the other 91% who do give you, good evidence? There's people who give you.
I said 99%. I said 99%.
Okay, so
almost everyone here does not offer me evidence. Just close to no one here who offers evidence.
Because there have been times where I hear you talking and it makes sense, but then there have been a couple of situations over the last months where somebody has proposed a good position or argument, and then you just kind of like, kind of just chew it up. You don't take it serious enough,
Do you recall anything that was offered that I just hand waved or?
Yeah, there are a couple that I can think of off the top of the head. Obviously, there's been hundreds over the months, but just recently there have been at least a couple that stand out. So, like one guest, he had an argument for fine tuning. The question was like, do you think that there was just randomly this Big Bang and randomly molecules and atoms just randomly started to form and everything just randomly happened to perfectly fall in place? And that was a good argument. I thought that was good, but you just kind of dismissed it like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, that was a question. That wasn't an argument. The Big Bang has nothing to do with fine tuning, anyways.
No, right. It goes against it because the Big Bang.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't do anything with it's compatible with the Big Bang being true or false. There's no tension. Doesn't comment on the theory.
Right, but the problem is that you think that.
The people I've dealt with on fine tuning, I've successfully dealt with it. I would ask them if they're talking about local or global fine tuning. Typically, they don't even know the distinction. But when we're talking about presumably local fine tuning, which is the only reasonable notion of fine tuning, I asked them how the theistic explanation even expects fine tuning. Then I tell them a collection of stuff. I tell them how their theory seems to be just a story, so it's doing nothing but merely accommodating the fact, and we want independent reasons to think it's true. I give them kind of bootstrapping objections, telling them that their explanation's superficial. It's not actually explaining fine tuning away. I say stuff like we can, stalking horse, right? So I give objections that are forceful, that diffuse their arguments. I'm not hand waving them away.
And that's where I'll meet you halfway, because you've done that at times. There have been times where you've done that, but there have been other times where you've done the opposite. But the thing is, you seem like obviously you're a smart guy. We can see that, but I feel like you've been misled. You've been misled, and the way you even approach these debates, the way you approach debates, dude. I study you. I watch you and analyze you. I know your style and your tactics. So when somebody will propose a good question, you'll just simply say, "How does that relate?" You don't give them a chance. Let me ask you this. Do you want to respond? I have a question. I have an honest question. Do you think it's honestly plausible and likely that there was just randomly this explosion, and randomly these molecules and atoms just randomly happened to fall? Big Bang. You think that there was just randomly this explosion? Big Bang
is not an explosion, but I think the Big Bang happened randomly.
Yeah. Do you think that these cards just randomly fell into place and everything just randomly happened?
By random, you mean without a cause?
Yes. Without a cause or a creator.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm inclined to thinking it happened with a cause, but I'm not really sure. So I'll just say I'm agnostic. I'm indifferent to whether the Big Bang has a cause. So it doesn't even really make any sense to say the Big Bang has a cause. I'd kind of have to think about that. But as far as now, I'm fine with just saying I don't have an attitude to whether the Big Bang has a cause or not.
Okay, fair enough. I'm downloading, I'm annotating and analyzing your argument. I have a team with me, and they have an earpiece in. We're all listening to you, so they're telling me what to say. Okay, so you're not leaning for or toward. Away, you're not leaning toward or away from the Big Bang. You're saying that you're in the middle, right?
Probably, yeah. Let's just say that. Yeah, I'm in the middle. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So which is more likely? God exists, or and I'm sorry, God exists and he created everything, that's the way it is, or there was just randomly this big bang and there were just randomly these molecules that formed and everything just randomly happened to fall into place the way it did.
Oh, those are two different things, whether the formation of molecules is random and whether the Big Bang is random. By random, you mean causeless. Now, I think it's plausible to say that the Big Bang is causeless, and I would even think that that's far more likely than theism being true.
But that's the problem, though, is that there's a higher likelihood, I would say, that these things were created and structured in a certain way versus they just randomly happen to fall into place perfectly and everything in the world just randomly happened to work out. That's the
I don't
disconnect.
see why that would be more likely.
You think that all this stuff just randomly happens to operate the way it does, it just randomly happens to fall
I'm
into
not,
place?
again, you're not understanding what's being said. The inflation of the universe, I'm saying, is random. I'm not saying that everything that happens in the universe is random. I'm talking about the universe itself inflating. That
Right.
There's a question of whether that is random, meaning uncaused, and I think it's plausible to say something like it's uncaused. And I'm saying that I think that it's more likely to say that the Big Bang is caused than to say that there's a theistic explanation behind the Big Bang.
Okay. Fair enough. You have not overextended or said something that was, ridiculous, so I can respect that. I just personally, when I think about God, I think about the alternative, and the alternative would be that everything just randomly happens to fall into place and randomly work out.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, that's the only.
That's not true whatsoever.
That's
No, that's
100%
not,
true.
obviously not true.
What do
No,
you
you
mean,
can have
obviously, dude? Are you getting an attitude? You just said obviously. Are you getting an attitude for no reason? Are you serious right now?
I'm
You just said obviously. Are we having
I'm
respect?
saying
Dude,
obviously
show
because I'm
respect.
saying
You just said obviously that's not true. You have no respect, young man. You are 18. Dude, you have
I'm not
no
18,
respect. You just said obviously that's not true. I can
okay,
understand if
let's
you
just
say that's
hold
not true. Why
let's
did you
just
say
hold our
obviously?
horses. I'm
Dude, you
saying
just said
obviously
obviously. That was
because
rude.
yeah, I'm saying obviously because it kind of slaps you in the face that it's not an entailment of the thesis that a God doesn't exist, that we're committed to saying that things are random. And I'm
What?
saying, like, obviously you can endorse a thesis like everything has a causal explanation, something like that, and you can also endorse the thesis that God doesn't exist, and those two are consistent such that you can think nothing is random. You can think everything is sufficiently explained, and there's no God in the type of causal, the causal landscape, right? You can kind of dispense theism and still have a type of story where everything is like causal, right? Everything's causally wedded. For everything, there's a cause behind it. You can have those two views. So obviously, it's not entailed from the view that there's not a God, that there's randomness, because you can have the view that there's no God and everything has a causal explanation.
Dude, you're disrespect. So that's the problem, dude. You're gonna that's funny. You're gonna gloss over and act like you didn't say obviously. There's a difference between you saying that's
Yeah,
not true
saying,
and obviously that's not true.
well, I explained why I said it's obviously the case. I'm saying it kind of slaps you in the face as true, and that's what I mean by obvious. And the reason why it should slap you in the face as true is because if we have the thesis, suppose the proposition God does not exist is true. From that statement, we can't like derive the sentence things are random, right? That doesn't.
Right,
Like,
no,
there's
I
no
understand
entailment
that.
about what things stand in what explanatory relations from that.
You keep on saying obviously that's not true. It's one thing to say no, that's not true, Rich Boy. I understand that. But you said obviously that's not true. Dude, apologize. You need to show respect. You're not being respectful. You're not being
My
respectful.
apologies.
You could have just said that's not true.
Okay, I do apologize if you interpreted it like in a pejorative way, but I do think it's obvious still.
Wow, so you're going to double down? Okay, man, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to crack. This is funny. You have a good day, young man. We're not going to do that disrespect today.
Have a nice one. I didn't drop one, by the way. Have a great one. No, I don't give a shit. Actually, I heard they have bananas. Oof, yes. I'm gonna add 150 bananas because my name is monkeyboy. So it's
yeah. Give me a banana too while you're at it.
No, just me. In any case, do you have an argument God exists? Who sent me a rose? I just said send me bananas. But it's okay. I'll let you off the hook. You have an argument God exists?
An argument for God?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Deej.
How many?
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Deej because you sent
how
me a
many
rose.
different species are there on Earth?
No idea.
Over 8 million.
You're sending bananas to the wrong guy, Andrew.
No,
okay,
I'm the
you're
best
the right
looking guy up here, and I'm the smartest dude up here.
Ooh.
So there's
cool.
8 million.
Glad to be in your midst.
Over 8 million species, and they all need the Earth to keep their existence. And is that just a coincidence?
What do you mean? Is it a coincidence?
Yes. How did we end up on the one planet where 8 million species can survive? And it was just
we didn't end up on this planet. We formed because the planet's hospitable to life.
Yes.
It's not like we were on like some.
And isn't that why
we were
God put us in?
I don't.
Why
didn't
he put us
exists
on Jupiter or some on Jupiter? I mean, like
I don't. Well, I don't. Wait, hold on. Like, why think a God exists though?
why do I think God exists?
Mhm.
Well, I just from basic common sense.
Oh, then I guess I don't have the
You
common
don't think
sense.
God
So what is the
exists
reason that
because
God
you're
exists?
insecure, and you think that
I don't think God exists because I'm insecure. Insecure about what?
about being yourself.
I think God doesn't exist because I'm insecure about myself.
Yes.
I'm not insecure about myself.
Yes. What is your point in proving that God doesn't exist? Because you're afraid of the people that believe in God that are smarter than you.
I mean, most academic philosophers are atheists, right? So most people who are like in the profession of talking about God existing are people who don't think God exists, right? It's almost 70% of philosophers, right? So it's like a minority of people.
Well, if you
who
agreed with
believe
my
in God.
views and philosophies, you'd be a lot better off for it. I don't believe.
Okay, but like, why think a God exists though?
Do what?
Yeah, like, why think a God exists though?
Well, how do you think we even got here in the first place? Just we came out of nothing, and all of a sudden, there's 8,000 species that can live on the same planet together.
But
I mean,
like, I don't
8
get
billion.
this. So
My bad.
there's two things to comment on this. There's this one like kind of annoying, erroneous type of dialectical strategy. So like talking point basically that you're doing, where it's just straightforwardly like fallacious. It's like burden shifting. It's like saying there's some fact, and or your act's like, why do you believe in this proposition? And then instead of like answering like what's the reason in favor of that view, you just say like, well, how do you explain this thing? That's like, imagine someone saying I believe in unicorns, and there's like a grilled cheese on the floor, and I say, why do you think there's unicorns? And he says, well, how do you think the grilled cheese got there? Right? That's just not justifying the existence of unicorns, right? And even if I don't have an explanation for how the grilled cheese is there, obviously that wouldn't justify your belief that it was done by unicorns or that unicorns exist. That should be fairly obvious. So that's just the one thing. The second thing is there's like a very standard causal story that's offered in biology for how life has arisen. It's been endeavored for years and has a long historical backing from academic professionals who've researched rigorously in the field. So there's serious theories that offer explanation for that and have strong confirmation and corroborating data in favor of that. That doesn't involve theism. So we have like a causal story in history for how life arose without the need of God. But again, like obviously there's no point in asking me that because it's not justifying your claim, and it's fairly obvious the answer I'm just going to offer, right? Most people just like appeal to like the evolutionary story.
Well, when I unalived twice, I've been sober for 4 years, and
You're sober right now?
well, I still drink, but that's legal. And
Have you drunk today?
but when I unalived twice,
But
I
did you
didn't
drink
see
today?
anything. But it's not until after the rapture that you're going to be united with God. And
Did you drink today?
these dudes that write these books about going and seeing God and
See.
seeing Jesus fighting the devil on a rainbow-colored unicorn aren't true. Yes, they're just writing these books
did you drink
to make
today?
money. And I believe the Bible, and I don't believe in the books that these people write just to make money. I don't agree with Joel Osteen.
Or maybe the better question
or
is, how much
anybody
did you drink today?
that is, dude, I'll drink you under the table. Jesus turned water to wine.
I see.
But I will defend God every
Okay,
time
yeah,
the Holy Spirit calls me up here to defend God.
Okay, so like the reason I think, sorry, the reason I think that God exists is what exactly? Like I don't see why I think a God exists.
Well, you can believe whatever you want,
No, yeah, I mean,
and I'll go out and believe in God.
You have a justification God exists, right? So I'm just asking if you could communicate, if presumably you have a justification. And
I don't really
if I'm
care
right,
what you believe, to be honest, but it pisses me
should I
off
think
when
a God
dudes
exists
like
on the
you
basis of reason?
get up here and try and make me feel inferior to you because I believe in Jesus as my
I'm
Lord and
making you feel
Savior,
inferior.
and you want to try and make me feel bad.
I don't want to make you feel bad.
Okay, well now I'll come up here and make you feel bad.
No, I don't want you to feel bad. I'm not trying to do that.
Okay.
It's just an intellectual conversation about the reasons in favor of believing certain things.
All
What are
right.
the
Well,
reasons
I
to think God
already
exists?
told you that since we got 8 million species on Earth that could survive outside of Earth, how in the world could that have happened without a higher being?
I don't get it. So there's like 800 billion species or whatever. So like, why I think God exists?
So, are you saying you don't believe that you think that just all of a sudden happened, that it was just random, that
I'm not
we're on
saying
a
it's
planet that only we can survive on, and only the other 8 million creatures that are with us can survive on, and that just randomly happened?
Well, I don't think this is the only planet we can survive on, or that life can.
I know it
is
because I've read the books in my science class.
Well, I don't have reason to think that myself, but also I don't think it's random. Like I said, I think there's like a standard biological story that's offered for how life formed here. But what I don't see is like we have like a large collection of organisms, right? There's like a different types, 8 billion different types of organisms on Earth. Okay, but like, what's the connection from that fact to God existing? Like, how do we get from 8 billion creatures on Earth to the conclusion God exists?
Well, how many creatures are on Saturn?
Presumably 0.
Yeah. So don't you think that, or you think that's just random that we're all on a planet that we all can survive on?
I already said no. I said there's a standard
Even
story for how
Cat
we're here.
Williams
But
agrees
look,
with me.
so the only known planet that houses life is Earth, and Earth houses 8 billion organisms. So why think God exists?
Say that again.
Cat Williams. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying that the only known planet that is hospitable or allows for life is this one, and there's 8 billion organisms on this planet. Okay, so why think God exists? Like, how are we getting to God?
Well, you can't argue the point that there aren't 8 billion or 8 million, species on Mercury or Jupiter.
Yeah, I'm saying that's part of the fact that the only known planet that has life is Earth, and that there's 8 billion organisms. And how from those two facts do we get to God existing?
How do you not get to God existing from that? Who else would create?
Well, it's like asking how do you not get to atheism from
on
that?
the planet?
But it seems like you're presuming that someone created them.
Well, I don't think they just appeared out of nothing.
I'm not saying they appeared out of
How does that make sense? How do you explain that?
Explain
and there's still species on Earth
I don't think
that haven't even been named.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm saying that, again, there's a standard biological story for how these organisms formed that aren't very controversial in their respective field. Now, how do we get from... I don't understand how we're getting that God exists.
Well, I'm not saying that I know for sure because, like I said, I've unalived twice, but I've been sober for 4 years. But you don't go to be with your Creator until after the rapture.
The last time you got drunk was 4 years?
No, the last time I unalived.
You said you've been sober for 4 years.
Well, I still drink, but that's not illegal. When I consider sober, I consider like
I didn't ask
something that unalives you, and you got to come back from Narcan.
You consider
and I didn't see anything.
Sober. Okay.
I didn't see anything when I unalived and my ex-girlfriend brought me back, but you won't see anything until after the rapture, if you believe the Bible.
I see.
Yeah, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, can we guys send this guy a couple bananas? Just like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I got a banana already.
If anyone can just send him one more banana, that would be more than appreciated.
No, you're trying to get me banned. I'm gonna drop down.
Trying to get you banned. Use those bananas for a good, I don't know, pay your caretaker or something. Maybe visit a hospital, get like a mental evaluation or something. Please use those bananas for a good cause. Don't buy more beer cans if you could. And hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. You have evidence God exists, or?
Well, he pretty much nailed it. He said that the Bible, Bible describes history throughout everything. So you believe in the Big Bang Theory is what you're saying?
Do you not?
No.
Okay, well, we don't need to talk about the Big Bang.
Creating the Earth. It's just what I believe in. What you believe in. No, your Big Bang Theory. Explain that to me. Explain to me how the Big Bang Theory is possible without divine intervention.
You can think it happened by God, but
we're just. What was it? What was the Big Bang Theory? What was it?
It's just the universe had expanded over time.
No, it was 2 particles colliding together, wasn't it? That created the universe.
No,
that's what the Big Bang Theory is.
No, I'm telling you that's not correct. The Big Bang is not. Yeah, before the Big Bang, there was no such thing as particles because space-time was.
Where did they come from? Where did the matter come from?
Yeah, there's like a causal story offered.
You can't explain it without God.
Well, hold on. You're asking me questions.
You can't explain it without God.
Can you? Okay, we gotta calm down. Look, I don't know if you're either. Hold on. Give me a moment to speak. Give me a moment to speak. I can tell. you're asking questions and then you're like interjecting, saying you couldn't explain them. I don't know if you're asking rhetorical questions. Make that clear, because I was attempting to answer, and it seems like maybe you didn't actually want an answer, or you're just interrupting when I'm attempting to answer, which is kind of rude. So we got to just tone it down.
I'll let you think about it a while. Answer.
Yeah,
How do you explain?
I'm saying, yeah, the Big Bang offers that explanation. It offers a causal story for how energy had cooled and formed particles over time. Right? I'm not a physicist. You can look into the literature, or I can
where did it come from without God?
Well, the Big Bang offers the story to that. I just said. It offers an explanation and a causal story as to how the Big Bang had formed particles, right? How shortly after the inflationary period, energy had cooled and formed particles. There's like a process that's offered by the lights of physicists. It's not like just random, right? The physicists have an account of that. Now, you might think the Big Bang itself is caused by God or something. That's fine. We don't need to dispute that, because, well, maybe we do.
Before that,
right?
There was supposedly a vacuum. Wasn't
by the way, violated. Thank you for the... No, that's not right.
There was not a vacuum before that.
Yeah, look, we should probably sidestep.
I know what the Big Bang is, not what you're describing, but okay.
I know.
mean, I'm a little older.
You have a misconception of the Big Bang.
Okay, maybe, but I'm not a believer.
The Big Bang
isn't.
Probably... Well, I don't see why, because most scientists who today are actually believers. 51% of people in science in American Science Institution are believers in God, right? And the Big Bang is a consensus, right? There's a convergence amongst academic professionals. So obviously, there's a consistency between the observations. That's all physics is. It's the observations of the physical worlds and inferences about what happens historically in the observable world, given our observations and data. And these theses are not, they're not, well, hold on. Let me just finish before you can respond. These theses are not inconsistent with God existing. In fact, many apologists or proponents of theism, or the belief God exists, they say stuff like God explains the Big Bang. The Big Bang is well supported and is not something that is intended to do away with God or anything like that. It's just a type of theory that's inferred based on the observations of the physical world, right? We have really good reasons to think that 13.8 billion years ago, there was a hot, dense state of the universe and it expanded over time. You can think, maybe that's caused by God or something like that. That's fine, right? This isn't philosophy of religion. This is not an argument for atheism. This is just describing the observable universe.
You just talked about God. We're talking about God. And what I'm trying to say is without the divine being, you can't explain it.
I didn't mention the Big Bang in this conversation.
Yeah, well, you did with the other conversation, but that I was listening to. But he did. But anyways, you can't explain it without divine intervention. That's the whole thing. The Big Bang Theory, how you supposedly think the world started. Whatever your theory is, you cannot do it.
That's not what the Big Bang is. The Big Bang
isn't anything in life you can't without divine intervention.
Okay.
God is everywhere.
Okay, you got to calm down again. You're going a little bit too much off the rails.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry.
The Big Bang Theory.
That fast. I understand.
No. You're just not.
It's part of the lack of education and experience. I understand.
We don't need to antagonize. You don't need to poison the well.
I'm just saying. The reason why you don't believe is because...
Hold on. Calm down. You're not allowing me to speak.
You don't believe because you don't believe anything. You've got every right to do that. It's called free will.
Okay, look, we can fairly have the opportunity to both speak. Let's not try and get unreasonable amount of time to speak one over the other. You just keep interrupting me. And there's no need to throw insults in.
You keep rambling on about nothing. I mean, most of what you're saying is just a word salad of stupidity. But you believe in it, and you got every right to believe in that.
Well, what?
It's called free will.
I'm not... Okay, well, I'm not rambling.
You got free will. You got free will not to believe in God, is what I'm saying. All I know is there's no path for you.
Okay, just calm.
There's no path for you to eternal salvation without going through Jesus Christ, the Lord, our Savior. That's all I'm telling you. You've got every right not to believe in God. I'm just here saying you're a soul and you're worth saving.
Okay, can you just let me know when I can speak? Because you're not allowing me to speak. So I'm just going to ask you.
You obviously don't believe in God, so you're a lost soul.
Okay, are you done now, or can I speak, or can I not? Are you still going? Or?
Give me some intellectual theory how souls don't exist.
Okay, are you done, or do you still want to keep going? Just let me know when I can speak, because you keep interrupting me, and I'm not interrupting you. If we can show each other the same grace, that would lead to productive conversation. I'll try to restrain myself from interrupting you, and hopefully you do the same with me. I'm now going to ask you when it's my opportunity to speak, because it's kind of ambiguous when I can speak and when I can't, because every time I begin speaking, you shortly interrupt me. Can I speak now? Yes? Because I'll give you all the time you want. I'm not here. I'm not an asshole. I'm here to have genuine, demure, intellectual conversation. So as long as people are willing to do so. So if you feel you still need more time to get across your ideas, have that time. Can I speak?
You're the only one speaking now. So what point are you trying to make?
Well, I'm making a meta point about how you're being really obnoxious, which I'm not. I don't think you're maybe a bad person, but you're making the conversation hard. Okay. So look, so the Big Bang Theory isn't a theory about the beginning of the universe. That's a mischaracterization of the Big Bang. That's something you said, which was inaccurate, and it's not about particles colliding. But again, we don't need to talk about the Big Bang unless you're saying something like you have reasons to think God is behind the Big Bang. The Big Bang has nothing to do with God. As we both...
God is behind the Big Bang, because without the particles, without something putting them in motion, you can't explain it.
But you said you don't think the Big Bang is true, so you couldn't...
No, I did. I never said that. I said you can't explain it without divine intervention. Where do the particles come from? What set them in motion? What caused them to collide? What made the Big Bang? Where did this stuff come from? And what set it in motion?
Okay. Yeah, but you said you don't believe in the Big Bang in the very beginning.
I'm saying you can't explain the Big Bang without divine intervention.
Okay, but you understand that.
See, you're the one that doesn't. You're the one that doesn't listen. You're the one that can't comprehend. I said to you, you can't explain the Big Bang without divine intervention. Where do the particles come from? What put them in motion? That's what I said. You went on this diatribe of stupidity for about a half an hour. I let you speak, and then when I tried to, correct you where you went off once in a while, you went on and on and on. Go ahead, explain to me where do the particles come from and what put them in motion if there's no divine intervention?
Dude, are you good? Do you need a hug? You seem pretty distraught.
No, explain it to me. I have a hard time when people don't make common sense and they talk a bunch of gibberish. It's tough on me. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying you seem very distraught. You're like really emotional. You're yelling, and you can see I'm very chill.
I just hate being lied to. But go ahead.
What was I lying about?
No, you're explaining to me your outlook on life. I'm just trying to explain to you that you can't even have your outlook on life without divine intervention.
Okay, I wasn't talking about any of that. I wasn't talking about my outlook on life. I was just talking
your
about
outlook on life is you're saying, give me evidence that God doesn't exist.
No, I'm saying I wasn't talking about my outlook on life. I was just correcting you on certain misconceptions about the Big Bang. And I'm saying that you did say from the beginning, you asked me a question about the Big Bang and said you disagree, but now you're saying you do think it happened and God's behind it.
No, I didn't say I do think. I said you can't explain it without divine intervention. That's what I said. Okay. So quit putting words in my mouth. I mean, is there a lack of comprehension? Okay.
Okay, well, you don't need to get so mad. I'm fine to.
Well, I'm just saying, you're the one that's telling me what I'm saying, and I'm not saying what you're saying. I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, but you don't need to get so mad. I'm willing to walk it back and apologize for any
words in my mouth. I won't put words in your mouth. Is that fair?
Well, I'm not intending to mistakenly put words in your mouth. That's why I'm
Okay.
I don't know why you think I did it on
where
purpose.
Do the particles
I'm apologizing.
How do they get put in motion without divine intervention? That was the question.
Okay, but you understand that what you're doing is a God of the gaps, where you're doing some type of fallacy where basically it's saying that the only candidate option we have in explaining some fact is with God, therefore we have reason to think God exists, which is actually just fallacious, right? It's an erroneous reason. You aren't levied reasons to think that this explanation is likely, given we can't consider any alternative explanation. It's not how that works, right? Like you can even imagine this in practice. Where
do the particles come from and what set them in motion?
I understand you're asking that, but I'm making a point about the type of dialectical thing.
And I'm making a point without divine intervention, none of it could even happen.
Well, questions aren't points, but I understand your point. You don't think I can explain that, but I'm making a point about the dialectical strategy you're doing and how that's an informal fallacy.
Are you asking me, is there proof God exists? Is that what you're asking?
Right now, we're not talking about anything like that. I'm just talking about
that's what your sign says here, evidence for God. You don't believe God exists. Whatever your poster is up above you, I don't know. Everybody's got a sign or something they're hawking, and you're hawking that there is no God.
What?
And I'm here to tell you that there is a God, and the only way you're going to get to heaven is through Him.
I don't even know what you were saying. You said hawking?
Hawking. What you're pushing. You don't know what hawking means? Democrats protest, they're hawking something.
Okay, well, I'm saying it's fallacious.
I guess it's age difference, 63 to what are you, 20 something?
Okay, well, maybe it is. Look, I'm saying that you're basically I'm saying there's a fallacy in the approach of thinking that you're offered reasons to think that a proposition is true, namely the proposition God is behind the Big Bang, because your interlocutor or the person you're talking with themselves can't offer a competing explanation. I'm saying that's a type of fallacy known as God of the gaps.
You can't make a competing argument for it.
We're not disputing that. I'm saying that the fact there's no competing explanation. So let's just say there isn't, right? Like you're saying, there isn't a competing explanation. I'm saying that's a fallacy to think that you're offered reasons to think that God's the explanation in virtue of the fact your opponent doesn't have a competing explanation, right?
I don't know how it's a fallacy, but go on.
Well, I can intuition pump it to you if like imagine there's a grilled cheese on the floor, right? And your friend says, I believe in unicorns. I think unicorns did it. And I imagine I just am so cognitively I'm like cognitively deficient. So I don't really have good faculties of imagination. So I literally can't conceive of any other explanation. Now I can still reasonably question, why should I believe in unicorns? And my friend isn't actually being justified in thinking unicorns because I'm not giving him an alternative explanation, right? Obviously we would say there that my friend's being irrational and thinking it's unicorns, right? Just because I don't have a different explanation for why there's a grilled cheese on the floor, right?
It's what you're describing as mental illness, but yes, I understand.
Yeah, so that's the type of fallacy. That's basically
no,
the
you describe mental illness, but okay. Yeah. I mean, there's people that do believe in unicorns, though.
But that's.
I'm just saying, you got free will, man. You got free will to do what's right and wrong. We've been battling good versus evil since the beginning of time, since Cain killed Abel.
Okay.
You know anything about that?
Do you understand what the point was I was making? Can you reproduce?
Yeah,
the
you're
point
supporting evil, that there is no God, and I'm here to tell you that there is no way to heaven through God.
No. You gotta focus.
The lack of God is what? Evil.
Mm-hmm. Can you I asked you if you can reproduce the point I made.
What's that?
You don't recall what the point was I was making?
Well, you were going on and on and on about how you can look at different things from different ways. Yes, about the sandwich on the floor. Even though they think it's a unicorn, you've got the right to look at it intellectually different. Yes, I understand all that. Yes.
No, that's not what I was saying.
Are you a psych major or something? I'm just asking. Because you seem to be trying to be real intellect. And I'm just wondering where that comes from.
My point there was not about someone being mentally ill and thinking there's unicorns. We're talking about an issue inferentially, that there's an inferential error when someone believes they're justified in believing unicorns explains the grilled cheese in virtue of the
I'm
fact
not talking
that
about
there's no
unicorns.
alternative. Okay, but the sentiment's carried for theism. So the same error is made when you reason the same way about God, right?
No, not at all. Not even close.
Okay, why is that?
You're not even in the same universe, man. I don't know how you could go around not believing in God.
Okay. So
I mean, what purpose is there in life if there's not an afterlife?
You can believe in an afterlife as an atheist.
Well, then why not do bad your whole life if there's going to be no reward for doing good? Why not be bad?
There might be.
Why not just do evil things? Hey, evil things are more gratifying. Evil things will get you more money. So why not do evil things your whole life?
It's like you're not even listening to what I'm saying. So
well, it's like you're not listening to what I'm saying.
I am. What am I not listening to?
If there is no God and there is no looking towards internal salvation,
what am I not listening to?
Then
what am I not listening to?
In your view,
what am I not listening to of you?
If it's your viewpoint, then what?
No, don't talk about my view. I'm asking you. You're saying that I'm not. You're saying I'm not paying you mind to what you're saying. Yeah, because you're not giving me the opportunity to speak. You're really hostile and cringe. You got to calm down and give me the opportunity to speak. You don't just say stuff and walk away with them. No. Calm down.
You got the right.
Listen. Turn on. Look, I understand you're a little maybe your handicapped person or whatever it is, your assistant isn't with you maybe at the elderly home or whatever it is, right? But you just got to pay attention and focus. Turn up your hearing aids because right now your ability to apprehend what it is I'm communicating is actually your ability to apprehend what it is I'm communicating is pretty bad, right? Maybe your hearing aid's not working, right? Maybe it is well, it's hard to reason with someone who's senile, right? You're not sensitive to reason, right? Maybe you're sensitive to cold foods, or maybe you're not because you have dentures.
Not at all. You're the young punk with no respect.
They're very strong. I can give you an argument that you're very senile if you like.
You're acting like a punk
I'm acting like a punk kid. Am I?
Yeah,
you're acting like a punk gramp, right? With dirty diapers. That's what you're acting like.
No,
right? Maybe you're
really
maybe you're really frustrated because your ass is really rashy and burning because you have crap in your in your diaper. That's what it sounds like right now.
Listen to all you boomers.
Why should I think all these boomers? Gooming
for Satan.
What is gooming? Can you explain that to me? I'm gooming for Satan. What is gooming?
Promoting evil.
Promoting evil.
You are gooming.
How am I doing that? How am I doing that? How am I doing that?
What's the opposite of God?
Truth.
What's the opposite of God?
Truth. It's truth. Yeah. Opposite of God is truth.
Opposite of God is truth.
God is fiction. Yeah. God is fiction. Not God is truth. Yeah. That's correct.
Mm-hmm. You have no faculties of right and wrong.
You kids these days, you sound like you're really senile.
No, you have no faculties of right and wrong, do you?
You don't even know what
you have no
faculties
respect.
means.
It's obvious you have no respect. The names and stuff you called me, you don't even know me.
How many
it's
wars
obvious
have you
have no
to?
Respect.
How many wars have you been in? How many wars have you been in?
Have I lived through?
Mm-hmm.
I lived through 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 conflicts, no wars, because the last war we had was World War II. But I lived through.
Really? I thought you would have been
Kosovo,
like in World
5,
War
6,
World War
7,
One.
7. I'm 63 years old. Do the math. Oh, that's right. You're so educated.
63. You sound
Oh my
63,
God.
to be fair.
You don't even know what the. Oh man.
Do you walk with a cane? Do you walk at all?
So
Are you wheelchair bound or?
Oh my God! Listen to the insults, the lack of respect. See?
Okay, I'm just gonna drop you because this got boring. Damn, I was, I wasn't actually even gonna. To be clear, everyone who might be misreading, I didn't like get fed up and start like I didn't reach a boiling point. I couldn't take that guy serious whatsoever. So he can like be rude all day, and I wouldn't have took any problem to it. But I thought it would just be funny to like kind of just like make him lick my boot or whatever, right? Because honestly, like, look, he's obviously not capable of having these conversations. Why not just like play around with him? That was my thought. But maybe people didn't like it because he's an old guy. I mean, he's like incredibly like unreasonable and like an asshole. So I mean, whether or not he's 60 or not, he should kind of like talking about respect his elders. He should respect people generally. Seems like he can't do that. So I thought it would be fun just to disrespect him a bit. But in any case, let's actually get. Yeah, finally you come up.
Dang, you really
ignorant stuff. Yeah, what is the ignorant stuff I've been saying?
You're just making a lot of bold assumptions without asking any questions or trying to dive deeper into this person's worldview or belief.
What assumptions am I making?
Do you want me to get specific? I don't remember, man. But listen, let's put this on the table. I don't know if God exists.
Hold on.
No, we have to.
No, slow it down. I'm not telling you to move on yet, right? I'm not clear. I haven't checked the clearance for us moving on, right? When we both are clear, we want to both move on. I know we're working. Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you don't say move on, we don't move on. I don't say move on, we don't move on. I never said move on. You're just jumping the gun.
All right.
Now you said I made a bunch of assumptions. What is one assumption I've made?
Saying, almost every sentence that you utter is addressing someone not following the specific indoctrination that you've been put through, and then assuming, if you have to
I know what you're talking about.
If you have to like study a really specific criteria for like 15, 20 years in order to enter a field and become a professional, you could consider that technically indoctrination.
I don't know what you're talking about. Look, I'm asking you, what is an assumption I've made? So just a proposition that I'm assuming. You're talking about me being indoctrinated. That's not what I'm asking you, obviously.
I told you, you're not listening because I told you I don't remember anything specific. But I said every other sentence.
Not even like paraphrasing? You can't recall like any, because you said there's a load of them and you can't recall one? Not even like in a fuzzy way that you could like articulate?
You assumed that the guest didn't know what not a premise,
inference?
An inference was, yeah.
No, he didn't know.
That was an assumption. Hey, man, take the L.
No.
You made an assumption.
No, you just wait. Don't be dishonest, right? We haven't cleared that, right? Obviously, I didn't assume that. I had evidence, right?
All right, sure.
Yeah, I didn't assume that. The evidence was that when I asked him what the inference was, he just asserted another statement. Okay, and I said, well, from those two statements, what is the inference? And he said that statement was the inference. Propositions aren't inferences, right? So that just means he didn't know what an inference was because he said the proposition was an inference.
Okay, well, I'll concede. I'm not like your other guests. I do want to have an actual intelligent debate because I do consider myself a pretty logical and reasonable person. So yeah, a conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning is an inference. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the evidence God exists?
Let's clear the table right now. They're probably, if we're going to go by scientific, analysis that is based in a material, objective, scientific experience, like that of like a robot who doesn't have the capability to sense things through its touch or smell, but is just running programmatically, I don't think I can prove or find evidence for God. But just like you can look and study a map of an area and know every intricate detail of that.
So you don't have evidence, or?
No. But I don't live my life. I don't live my life.
What are you expecting to talk about?
I don't live my life in a way that doesn't reflect my experience. Because I experience.
I don't know what that's responding to.
I'm saying I don't need evidence for God to be the way that I am and still believe in God.
Well, to be justified in your belief, trivially, you need an argument or justification and evidence.
No, I would just have to be better than what the opposition is bringing to the table, which is what you're bringing is dumb.
I don't
want to be in a gay cult. that where we use fake science and we use like, hey, you have to go through this system that we designed really specifically to put you in this very specific worldview. And we have people in power.
Look, all the stuff you're talking about right now, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you think that's what atheism is, but I'm not that. I don't even know what the thing you're talking about and have been talking about earlier about science stuff is. I don't know close to any science whatsoever. I'm not a science guy. I don't like science. I don't believe that God doesn't exist based on science. Pretty much no one does. No one but idiots. Anyone who thinks God doesn't exist because of science is just an idiot, right? No one's talking about that. I don't know how you keep bringing up science and talking about science institutions and gay cults. I'm not gay. I'm not in a cult. I don't even know what you're talking about. Seems like maybe you're a bigot. You like hate gay people for some reason. I don't even know why gays being
you don't see this massive movement. Stuff. You don't see. You're not aware of the massive intrusive change in culture because you're not old enough to realize it. Because I'm 34 and I'm your elder. And I lived in a world prior to the invasion of this fake science gay cult that's coming to destroy the minds of the youth and the people. Science. Dude, you are brainwashed like you are extremely brainwashed. You are completely brainwashed. Why do you care? Why are you getting on alive every day and saying evidence for God? Why are you repeating this narrative over and over and belittling people? Why? What is your message? What are you bringing to the table?
Look, you got to stop getting so emotional. You said you're a reasonable and logical person. You're crashing out so bad. It looks so cringe. You got to like calm yourself, right? Calm yourself. Breathe. Come up for some air. Come up for some air. Just calm down, breathe. Let's work with each other. No, you're freaking out and not giving me an opportunity to speak. You're going on. You sound like a freaking out conspiracy theorist talking about gay institutions and stuff. You said you're a logical, reasonable person and that you're interested in talking about the topic, which is that evidence.
People aren't killing Christian kids.
Now you're saying that.
What are you talking about, bro? Are you not paying attention to reality?
You gotta calm down. I already said calm down. Not in the middle of my sentence. Give me the opportunity to speak. Give me the opportunity to speak, and I will give you. You gotta calm down and stop freaking out. You're an elder and you're acting like this. Remember, you're an elder. I'm younger than you and I'm being more demure than you.
It's my first experience with you.
Control yourself.
I know you. I've been through several of your lives.
Great.
I know how you act.
Control yourself. Okay, but control yourself. Control yourself. You're freaking out and it looks really cringe. Right?
I'm okay.
What are you doing?
I've accepted that.
Is this the Christian character?
I'm not a perfect person and I'm not a representation of Christianity. I'm a bad Christian. So it doesn't, this isn't fun. It's not fun for me to be able to.
You don't, I'm not acting like that. I'm not freaking out like you. I don't know why you're doing that to me. Just calm down. You said you're a reasonable person. And you're not being reasonable whatsoever. You're not being logical. You're not engaging with the substance. You're just freaking out, talking about like strange, probably political stuff that I'm not interested in. We're talking about evidence for God and stuff surrounding that. I don't know what gay stuff has to do with this. If you think being gay is unethical,
so what, you're just curious? What's your mission?
I don't want to have that debate. I said no in the middle of my sentence. I'm not interested in debating whether being gay is unethical. I disagree with you. And I don't know what you're talking about pseudoscience. What is the pseudoscience? I don't know any of the stuff. I don't study science or pseudoscience, so I don't even know why this is mentioned. You probably had bad experiences with atheists, and now you act like irrationally bigoted
bad experience, more like domestic terrorism. I've had domestic terrorism from atheists.
So now you are like an irrational bigot. Right? And now you're like,
I'm not a bigot, bro. You're a bigot.
Against atheists.
You're a bigot. You're calling people dumb for believing in something that nobody can prove or disprove. Like this shit's already been settled, bro.
I'm not calling people
evolution doesn't work. You don't create new genes. The probability is 1 to the power of 300, bro. You can't create fucking new genes.
What are you talking about right now?
Dude, we're created.
Okay, why think that?
Because evolution isn't real. It's nonsense.
Okay, evolution isn't real. Okay, why think we're created?
Because of the things that I experience, including but not limited to art, the feeling of awe, the feeling of wonder, love. These are all imaginary things if you're looking through a scientific lens. Love doesn't exist, bro.
I don't look through a scientific lens. Neither is that true that those things aren't real if you have a scientific
mind. Okay, explain it then. I just made a premise. Okay, give me a justification for that. How does love exist? How does hope exist and love? These are real things that we experience.
Yeah, these are real psychological states. In fact, science endorses that. Psychology is a science.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it has been for ages. What are you?
See, I think you believe that you can perfect your life here, but you don't understand
how what you're talking about.
Bro, you're here for 100 years. How long are you here to experience the world and gather information and make critical decisions based on the information about how you live your life? See, the problem is you're lazy, so you're like, yeah, I got it all figured out. But you don't realize I'm an expert in my field. I'm a UX designer. You can go to uniqueux.com and find out more if you want to hire me. And look at my body of work, how I've impacted humanity. I've written for universities. I've created things that changed society, how people act in a macro level. We are all interconnected. For Gallaudet University, and I also did their DEI policy. Yeah, the crazy guy wrote DEI policy.
Have you written?
Dumbass. Huh?
What is that?
Policy for businesses. You don't know what DEI is?
No, I don't know business.
All right.
So
okay,
listen.
So you wrote the business blog for some university. Great.
No, I've created things and watched them change culture. I've worked for I've done.
You don't
listen,
have
I have a
evidence that
breadth.
exists.
Dude, I got my start making director's treatments for music videos for people like Post Malone and Justin Bieber and shit. And I see that the power of this creation is in dividing in the spoken word. It is exactly what we're talking about. I'm talking about philosophical concepts. You don't even know what that is. You just said you don't study science. You don't know anything about science. You're not coming at it from a scientific perspective. You have philosophical discussion. Every time I start talking about philosophy, you break down, bro. And this is what I'm trying to say.
I'm not even talking about philosophy.
You don't know what philosophy is. You don't understand the core meaning, dude. You need to read more.
I don't know what philosophy is.
No.
You think if I quizzed you on like basic philosophical concepts, you would pass?
I don't care about regurgitating facts. I'm a systems thinker. I make systems that you use, bro. I just told you I write for universities, you dumb fuck. You go to university. They hire me to write your shit. Are you dumb? Are you fucking listening to what you're saying? You're dumb as shit, dude. Sit down, close your computer, turn your laptop off, get the fuck off the internet because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're a troll. You're a fucking hired troll. You probably make 5 cents a fucking live, you dumb fuck.
I actually make way more than 5 cents alive. By the way, can everyone send me bananas to disprove this guy? Oh wow, he left. He turned Hulk, and then his gamma radiation annihilated his own cells. He committed, gamma sewer slide, unaliving. That was pretty interesting. That coming from the guy who said he was going to be the most reasonable and logical person on my guest was the most lunatic. Well, I don't even know what's the right vocabulary there, but he was the most like insane person. Crashed out harder than I've actually talked with anyone in like months. No one's yelled like that on my live in God knows how long. So yeah, that's the reasonable guy, the most reasonable guy today, quote unquote.